Hello, friends. I am going to share with you my March wrap up here. I have all the books I read in the month of March written down, and I read a surprising total of 31 and a half books. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. I'm just going to quickly move things around. And the first book that I read for the month of March was, I started this book at the end of February, just as the the BookTube games was ending. I was hoping to finish this, but I couldn't finish it in time. But I finished The Devil's Thief, which is the second book in the Last Magician series. I'm not going to go into further detail of this since this is a sequel, but holy smokes, phenomenal series. You need to pick it up soon. So yes, The Devil's Thief. Then, after I finished that book, I finished my second reread or third reread. Yeah, my third reread of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And I went to the Daisy Jones and the Six signing, so I got to meet the wonderful Taylor Jenkins Reid, and she signed my copy, where it says, Courtney, Evelyn sends her best. XO Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one of my most prized possessions now. I love this book so much. And, yeah. This book has been going viral for like 2 years at this point. It's basically, you see the life of Evelyn Hugo, how she becomes a big Hollywood star, and her infamous 7 husbands. So, definitely pick it up if you haven't. I'm not going to go into further detail, because most people probably have read it by now. Then, I read this book 3 times. I listened to the audiobook, and I listened to the audiobook twice, and then read the physical copy once. And this is Daisy Jones and the Six, and I got this at the signing. I went to the event in New York City at the Paper Daisy bar in New York City, and I got a copy, and it says Rock On XO Taylor Jenkins Reid. And also on my Instagram, until April 16th, you could have a chance to get a copy of this book that's signed, that was untouched by me. It's off, hidden somewhere where it's not getting touched or anything. You could have a chance to get a copy. It's only for US, though. I only can send to the US. But Daisy Jones and the Six has been a popular book this month in BookTube right now, and I completely get the hype. I love this book. It gives me Janis Joplin with Bruce Springsteen vibes, with the whole old rock thing, and I can't fathom the words of how to express the story of this book, but I love it so much. Like I said, I've read this 3 times, so pick it up if you haven't already. You're definitely not going to miss out. Then I picked up Ash Princess. Basically, Theodosia, our main character, her kingdom is taken over and oppressed, and basically it's her whole story of coming into herself, where she plans to take her kingdom back. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I love this. The audiobook was amazing. And yeah, Ash Princess. After reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six, I was on to Taylor Jenkins' Reid kick. So I read these books as well. I read Maybe in Another Life, Forever Interrupted, One True Loves, and After I Do. As well as the novella Evidence of an Affair. I'll have a photo on the posted right up here. But I'm going to be talking about One True Loves first. Hold on a sec. Okay. Alrighty. Hold on a second here. One True Loves. Basically, this high school sweetheart couple get married, and on the day before their 1-year wedding anniversary, the husband goes on a trip and is presumed dead. So Emma, our main character, decides to move on after 3 years or 4 years when her husband miraculously comes back. And at this point, she's had her whole life planned out, or not planned out, but her whole life is basically like moving forward. She's in another relationship. She's happily engaged, but she has to deal with choosing who she wants to be with, her husband or the new man that she's with now. And it's a phenomenal book. This made me tear up. So, One True Loves. After I Do, college sweethearts, Ryan and Lauren, hit a rough patch in their marriage after being married for a couple years. They hit a rough patch and whatnot, and then they decide to take a year off of their marriage and see if they really want to be together. And this book is gut-wrenching. It's so heartbreaking, and you won't be disappointed at the end, but you'll be wanting more. And this book gave me a lot of inspiration of recipes to make for my little series that I'm going to be having on this channel. And, yeah, After I Do. Then I have Forever Interrupted. Elsie and her husband, Ben, get married after a whirlwind romance that lasts only for about 6 months to a year before he unfortunately passes away in an accident. And she has to deal with the aftermath of losing her husband and meeting her husband's mother, who she's never met before. And it's told from the past, and then also like of how her and her husband met, and then it skips into the future. And it's a phenomenal book. You should really pick it up. It made me tear up within like the first couple minutes of the audiobook. So pick it up. Then I have Maybe in Another Life. This book is formatted in 2 separate storylines where, depending on Hannah's choice, it's basically how her life pans out. And I'm not going to say anything too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything, but you could choose which path you like best, but it alternates between those two different forks in her life. But it does start off with, like, if she chooses to go home with her high school boyfriend, what's going to happen, or if she chooses to go home with her best friend. And both of those paths dictate who she will end up with romantically and how her life will pan out. And it's a great, great book. So, maybe in another life. I picked up Still Me by Jojo Moyes. This is the third book in the Me Before You trilogy, which kind of bombed at the box office. It was a big thing for a little while, but the story still went on, and I was somewhat pleased with it, but not completely. It is a third book in a trilogy so far, so I'm not going to say anything too much, or not too much of anything. So, Still Me. I picked up... I don't have the second complete collection of Orange, but I read the complete collection Volume 1 of Orange, Volume 2, and also The Future. I really liked this series. It was really interesting to me. Basically, I'm trash for anything that deals with time travel. So basically, this group of 6 friends, or 5 friends, and then they add a new friend into their group, get a collection of letters from the future, trying to save this guy's life, because he falls to suicide, and they want to save him. So it's very endearing, and you see time jumps, but then the future starts to shift a little bit because of the different because of the notes that were sent back, and it's phenomenal, and I loved it. So I have to return this very soon back to my library. But yes, very good book. Or manga, actually. I had a few books fall off my bed, so I'm sorry. I'm just picking them up really quick. Okay. Alrighty. So, I also picked up Made You Up, which was recommended by Emma Books. I loved that book. I did not take it out of the library. It was through my Overdrive app. So, Made You Up. I also picked up To Best the Boys. Far From You, which was another good book as also. I picked up the series Sex Criminals. I read volumes 1 through 6. I picked up The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is a sequel to the Cruel Prince series. Definitely highly, highly recommend. It has a great romance of lovers that hate each other. I'm kind of like trash for that. So, pick this up. It's been very popular since it came out also, so if you don't know about it, now you know about it. I picked up this beauty also. I left my bookmark in here. I picked up Children of Blood and Bone. This was a reread for me. It's very Avatar The Last Airbender vibes in here with the magic system. Phenomenal book. I love it. And the audiobook was so good. So pick up Children of Blood and Bone. I also read the first book in the Shattered Me series. I was trying to complete the whole series by the end of the month to try to catch up with Booksplosion. I wasn't able to, but I read 31 books, so yay me. So Shatter Me. This has been a popular book in BookTube for a while, so I'm not going to go much further into detail. I also picked up... I read the complete Creating a Champion art book for Breath of the Wild. I'm not going to hold this much longer because it is heavy as hell. But yes, this is the art that was part of the game for Breath of the Wild. And I own Breath of the Wild for my Switch. And I loved it. It was awesome. I also got halfway through We Are the Ants. I finished this book today, which is April 1st. Basically, our main character, Henry, gets bullied at home. He gets bullied at school. His very serious boyfriend, Jesse, commits suicide, so he has to deal with aftermath after a suicide. And it's just, it's a phenomenal book. Pick it up if you haven't. So, We Are the Ants. I picked up The Burning World, which is a sequel to, what is it? It's a sequel to Warm Bodies, which had Nicholas Hoult in it. It was made into a movie. I loved that movie so much. And then the last book I picked up also was Zombies vs. Unicorns. And I hope you have a great night. And hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I post more stuff up. And have a good one, everybody.
Should have stayed, were the signs I ignored. Can I help you not to hurt anymore? We saw brilliance when the world was asleep. There are things